Hi everyone and welcome to episode 112 of the Talk is Cheap show. Now don't adjust your sets because as one big man has departed, we welcome back another big man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big digital round of applause for my good friend, my co-host, show analyst and resident expert, former professional footballer, now social media icon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in-house. What are you saying, bro?
Hey, good to be back, man. Big up Robbie, though. He stepped in well last week.
Yeah, man.
Fair,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We had a lively show. You know, me and Robbie, you always have our opinions. Not always on the same side of the fence. But yeah, man, it was good. I enjoyed it.
It was a good substitute appearance. Better than Nketiah, to be fair, from Robbie.
I guess you could say so. Yeah. So anyway, how are you, bro?
No, I'm good, man. Good to be back and busy weekend.
I know you had a few family commitments.
Yeah, it was half term.
Good to have you back in the hot seat, bro.
Yeah, man, good to be here.
So what did you spend your week doing?
Well, it was half term, wasn't it? So the kids running me wild. You know what I mean? Man. Taking all my money. But no, it was good that Arsenal won. Obviously, lots of football over the weekend and the boxing as well, which we'll talk about.
Lots of things to talk about, man. Yeah, news and notes. Let's start with our news and notes. So, right, I just want to say that there was some sad news at the weekend, some very sad news. CEO and founder of SBTV, Jamal Edwards, he passed away last week. I know he was a big Chelsea fan, but he's also a friend of AFTV. Yeah. And I know you've come across him in your line of work. So did you want to say any words on him?
No, obviously, man, thoughts go out to his family and friends. He was, he was a bit of a mogul, really, in what he did. He gave so many people opportunities. And I think there are a lot of people who are successful in kind of this industry. But I think when you put so many other people on as well, you've really got to big those people up because, loads of people's careers got started through him. So absolutely. Sad news, man. Terrible news.
Yeah, I mean... The news rippled around, like, not just through the music industry, but football everywhere. Like, he had a very big presence. And I know his family very well. I know his mum very well, so does Robbie. So, I've reached out to her. Haven't heard back from her yet, but listen, man, it's so sad. He's only 31 years old. And, tragic. And obviously we send the family and everybody who knows him our condolences. And yeah, man, so sorry to have to start the show on some sad news, but it is what it is in that respect. Let's talk about the boxing, the big fight, because I know you're a big fight fan, as am I, and many of you guys out there watching as well. What was your thoughts very quickly on the big fight?
Nah, do you know what? I loved it. I'm not going to lie. I just love them kind of fights where two people are really trying to beat each other, you know what I mean?
Us and Wolves.
Yeah. Ruben Neves, you know what I mean? But no, I caught some of the highlights of the watch along. You did a very good watch along on DR Sports, you and your son and Robbie. And look, I think the better boxer won on the night. I thought Amir Khan looked a little bit... this looked like one fight too many for him, really. I think, the atmosphere there looked incredible. I know a few people who went and they said it's one of the best. Well, that's not... what happened to him?
That was
the second boxing match of the night. That was bad, man.
Yeah, that was
bad.
I had a little laugh about it. I'm not trying to belittle or demean anything what happened there, man. That was poor. Yeah. But the event was massive.
Do you know what? I thought Kell Brook, it was a masterclass, to be honest. He landed big punches every round. He hurt Khan from the first round. I think Khan still had the speed, but the timing wasn't there. The power wasn't there. The legs were like jelly. You could see it in the first round. And to be honest, I wanted Brook to win. I'm not going to lie. I wanted him to win. And it's just interesting now whether they both retire, do they carry on? I think Khan will definitely should retire, but it's just whether Brook maybe wants another fight somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I've met Kell Brook because with my previous dalliance with IFL TV. Shout out to Coogan, big Arsenal fan. I know he watches his show as well. So and I'm a big boxing fan. So I've actually met Amir Khan as well. Both are nice guys. But I was kind of rooting for Kell because I know he'd wanted this fight for years. Yeah. And for whatever reason, it hadn't quite happened. But what a night, man. And like you said, man, I thought Kell Brook completely bossed it. Yeah. And he looked good. In fact, if he was to have another fight, I wouldn't hate on that, man, because he looked that good. Now, you've got to factor into that how much Amir Khan's probably diminished, but even so, man, that was a superb performance. Yeah. Well done to Kell Brook.
Yeah, man.
Even though he's a Sheffield United fan, if he sees this, big up Kell, well done.
Yeah, man.
Right, okay then. moving on then to one of our regular features, our review of Arsenal's last game. Right, the stage to be set. So Arsenal against Brentford, a game which going into this you would have expected
3
Arsenal
points
to win, and I predicted before the game 3-0. What was your prediction before?
3-1, I said.
Right. So, but in the end, I mean, it was 2-1. But you know, I think that scoreline kind of flattered.
Yeah, it did, definitely. Yeah.
Because we spoke about Kell Brook dominating Amir Khan. Yeah, this was on that type of level, really. Except for we didn't quite put Brentford away the way Kell Brook put Amir Khan away. But anyway, 24 shots on goal, man. The only disappointment was that for the way we dominated that game, I think at one stage we was registering like 85% possession.
Yeah.
Now in a Premier League game, that is quite significant, really, isn't it?
It is.
And the fact that we only scored 2 goals is a bit disappointing, and probably an ode to our problems we have up front.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I thought we completely bossed the game. What was your thoughts on it, bro?
Like you said, I think we bossed pretty much the whole game. I thought we owed Brentford one, for what they did on that first day of the season. I have to say, I thought Brentford were very poor. I know they had no Eriksen, no Ivan Toney, but they just, first half, they were non-existent. I was actually a little bit disappointed at half-time because we dominated the game that much. I was a bit like, is this Burnley all over again? And we seem to be putting a lot of high crosses which doesn't really work for us. In the second half, I thought we were a lot better. We moved the ball quicker. I thought Partey really stamped his authority. And the young lads again, they're doing it again. And, Smith Rowe's goal, I thought was brilliant. Drove through the middle, bends it in. Giving me kind of like Pires Lundberg vibes on the wing, scoring a lot of goals.
Dare I say Aubameyang?
Well, it was a bit of Aubameyang.
Speaking of which, well, we won't go there.
Yeah, no. But
I wanted to say well done, Aubameyang.
Yeah,
congratulations. I think he's didn't he create history with that hat-trick?
First player, was it French League, German, Spanish, English hat-trick
this century. So people were talking a lot of ish about Aubameyang.
Relax, they'll come for you.
They will come for me. But hey, man, he's a friend of the channel, so we got to give him flowers for that. But to go back to the game. Listen, I thought that I think we scored within about 5-6 minutes of the second half, which, as you correctly pointed out there, we went into the end of that first half a little bit disappointed. I know I was.
Yeah.
So to come out there and get that goal early on, I thought that was tremendous. And it was, like you said, it was an excellent piece of play by Smith Rowe. Yeah. And it was a real accomplished finish, so that was great. So carry on then.
And then obviously, I think we knew if we got the second goal, it would be kind of game over. What a goal that was, by the way. The interesting thing was, I thought Saka he was having a quiet game, in my opinion. And then I think why Arteta constantly leaves him on the pitch, he's just got them moments. And Partey again drives through the middle, gives him the ball, and what a finish. What a finish. And these youngsters are a credit to the club, I've got to be honest, because you look at Saka, Smith Rowe, I was going to start singing the song then, but
you know the song.
You know the song. Yeah. They've probably saved this club maybe £100 million, really. To get 2 players of that level, if you were to buy them, would cost you a fortune. So I think the thing is now, you want Lacazette to join the party. At the moment, he's not in that rave right now. Yeah. He had the goal disallowed in the first half, and I was like, man, he needs a goal, a tap-in, a penalty, anything. But it was a shame we conceded. I felt we should have kept a clean sheet. But you saw with the weekend's results, you've just got to win and then tick it off, move on to the next one. So I thought it was a dominant performance.
I think the overall performance was good. Was you, like me, a little bit disappointed? And listen, I don't want to be seen as having a pop at the manager, but I thought Pepe could have come on earlier for me.
Yeah, again,
that was the one. Well, apart from the obvious, we're not scoring more goals.
Yeah,
and the strikers, because let's be honest, Eddie didn't really look like he was going to score when he come on. But on the other hand, when Pepe come on, he had an immediate impact. I think we should have had a penalty. Off the back of what he did there with that good run he did, and he looked lively. And you just look at him and you think, why is he not getting more minutes, man? More game time?
I think the problem with Pepe is the young players. I reckon in the manager's mind he's thinking, these youngsters are going to be our players for a long time. what's going to happen with Pepe's future, because you've had Martinelli and Xhaka out wide, now Smith Rowe and Xhaka. I think a lot of the time it's like, well, who do you play him in front of? But listen, I agree. When he came on, he looked sharp. He's obviously been to AFCON, played 3 or 4 games, so he's got that match fitness. And he looked like he had a bit more of a smile on his face as well. But
it's probably because he's getting some game time.
Yeah, man. He came on for 15 minutes.
I'm coming on.
I'm on. What? Yeah, know what I mean? But listen, I agree with you, because I just think he's unpredictable. He's got a goal in the locker, and I think we're going to have to use him. I think between now and the end of the season he will get game time, because we do have a small squad, so hopefully we see him play a little bit.
And the reason
more.
why I was a little disappointed as well is that the manager before the game had made this big speech about Pepe. Looks a different player coming back from Africa, which I thought was a little bit of fugazi actually, because I thought, no, Pepe's been that good player from time. You know what I mean? He went out in AFCON, he had a good tournament whilst Ivory Coast were in the tournament. 2 very good goals and assist. But come on, man, he's been that good player. He's just not been getting the opportunity. So then he's made that big speech about Pepe. So you're thinking, yeah, man, we're going to see Pepe at least get a little run, half an hour, maybe even the second half, and then comes 15. On in about 12, 15 minutes. Come on now.
I think
it's not like we were in danger of losing that game.
I think with Pepe, look, you just know in life, in football, sometimes a manager doesn't favour you for whatever reason. But what Pepe's got to do, he's got to put Arteta in a position where you've got to play me. You know, I've got to come on.
You've got to get minutes.
It's difficult. So it is difficult. You might get 15 minutes. You've got to maybe score or set one up in that 15. It's hard, but that's the situation he's in. And
I just think, especially at a time when, let's face it, we are struggling to get goals, especially from the forward line. Yes, the 2 midfield, Smith Rowe and Xhaka, have done very well. We are getting goals from midfield, but further up the pitch, it is becoming an issue. So if you've got options there, man, use them. But anyway, I don't want to moan about that too much. But there was another talking point I wanted to ask you about, and that involves your favourite Arsenal player.
I think he's your favourite.
There was a moment in that game that I had a few fans scratching their heads.
Yeah.
The club have been very quick to clarify what happened, but it occurred when the substitutes, when Eddie came on.
Yeah.
And Lacazette came off. And he gave Eddie the armband. I thought he was going to put it on Eddie's,
I did, because he kind of stretched it like he was going to put it on his arm.
Eddie takes it off. He goes to Xhaka, and Xhaka appears to... he appears to give him the wave, as if to say...
It's not the first time he's told people to move.
And at the time, I remember thinking, right, is that a little diss towards the club there or what? But what was your thoughts on it? The club have tried to clear it up and said, no, it was nothing. But then you would expect them to say, I want to know what you think.
I think initially I was a bit like, wow, what's gone off there? But I have to admit, and you know me, I don't find it difficult to have a bit of a pop at Xhaka. But do you know what? I'm not personally making too big a deal out of it, because I think they had an order that if Lacazette takes it off, Tierney's supposed to have it. If you look at the incident, Tierney's taking the throw-in when Nketiah comes on. So I think he's looking at Tierney taking the throw and thinking, let me just give it to Xhaka.
But why not just hold on to it until Tierney's
maybe, but we have to ask Eddie that. But I have to admit, the body language of Xhaka was kind of, get that thing away from me.
Listen, man, I saw that, and I was in a room with people. We were doing a watch-along, and straight away we all looked at each other and said, is that some kind of cryptic message?
I'm going to Mourinho in the summer.
He's like, I don't want that, man. You know what I mean? You took it off me, I'll keep that.
Take that away from me. But it was interesting. But you know what? I'm not going to hammer him too much. I think
so we're not reaching, man.
I've actually been quite defensive of him.
I'm surprised. I thought you'd see get out of the club.
I've said that enough times. So, you know what I mean?
But that was an interesting moment, and it's been... The club have been very keen to clear it up, so you don't see there was anything.
I don't think it's that big an issue.
Yeah, okay, we'll watch this space. It might appear in his book when he stopped playing, the day when I said to them I didn't want the captaincy back.
Get away. Do you know what? The reason I've kind of taken that approach is because when I see him with the armband, I'm one of the first ones who's like, he needs to take that off.
It off.
So the fact he ain't wearing it is kind of, I'm like, you know what? Let me not make too much of it.
Okay, we won't prolong that then. Okay then, moving on again to another one of our regular features, which is our preview of Arsenal's next game. So for those of you who don't know, we normally call this Ops of the Week, and that might be an appropriate term in this game. So Arsenal's next game at home to Wolves. Now this is another massive game.
Yeah.
Because Wolves are a good opposition, and actually they're creeping up the table. They're just behind us.
Yeah.
So that game is going to be a big game. And if that wasn't enough, the game has taken on an extra significance because of the last time when we played Wolves and we beat them. We were down to 10 men, and we beat them 1-0. And following the final whistle, there were some very, shall we say, exuberant celebrations led by the likes of Ben White and one or two others.
Yeah.
And that seemed to get under the skin of some of the Wolves players. Neves and Connor Cody have come out and said that the way Arsenal celebrated, you'd have thought they won the Premier League. Now, I'm just going to say just briefly that I didn't see anything wrong with the celebrations per se, because the way I read that was, it wasn't so much that they'd beaten Wolves, it was the fact that they were down to 10 men.
Yeah.
We'd have a bit of a rough 2022, and to win that game from where we were, you know what I mean, it was represented a pretty good achievement. So I had no problem with them celebrating. What about you?
That was...
You played football.
There was some real salt coming out of them, man. You know what?
Salty.
Yeah, some real salty tears, man. I think Wolves need to relax a little bit. They're trying to create a rivalry that doesn't really exist. I know they've done well over the last couple of years, but just relax a little bit. Anytime you go down to 10 men, even if you're playing one of the sides near the bottom, if you can hang on for 20 minutes, not concede and win the game, that is a big 3 points.
Absolutely.
So like you said, you're spot on. They weren't celebrating like that because it was Wolves. It was away from home against a decent team, and we've hung on. So they need to relax.
Although I can understand, having played football myself, and listen, at a much lower level than you. But I guess if you look around, you've just been beaten 1-0 and you see the other team high-fiving, jumping around, it does kind of stick in your craw a little bit. But to come out publicly and say, the way they were set, I thought that was a little bit
it's weak.
Off.
We owe them
what it has done is it's kind of amped up it's amped up this game, man, to a significant degree. So, and it's made it like even more watchable. I mean, it's always Arsenal versus Wolves is always a tough game. But with that added bit of spice now, I think... man, I like the energy going into this game, and I think it's going to be a tough game. What do you think?
It will, because Wolves, I believe their away record's one of the best in the Premier League. Also, I was reading, I don't think we've beaten Wolves at home since they came back up from the Championship. They've actually got a good record at the Emirates. So again, I think we owe them one again. They got a good result against Leicester. At the weekend, which I thought they may drop points in that, but so it's going to be a tough game. It
is. Well, let's have a look at some receipts. Right, so they, like I said, they're creeping up behind us, man, in the European spots. They're currently in 7th, 40 points, 24 games, won 12 this season, lost 8, drawn 4. But they're on a good run of form. Their last 5 games, they've won 4 and lost only 1, which was to Arsenal, of course. And those 4 wins, they've beaten Southampton, Brentford, predictably, I guess, but Tottenham and Leicester. So there's some good teams in there. So they're no mugs. So we're not underestimating them by any stretch of the imagination. But and of course, it's a must-win game. And if we look at Arsenal's, we're currently 6th place, 39 points, 23 games, won 13, lost 7, drawn 3. Now our last 5 games, so we're also on a decent run of form. We won 3, lost 1, and drawn 1. But we should be honest and say that it's not all been plain sailing in 2022. We're not a free-scoring team, not yet anyway. And there are areas of the pitch we do need to improve upon. So I'm predicting that this will be a very tough game. What kind of team would you like to see, bro?
Do you know what I think?
Go with the same 11.
I think he'll play the same 11. Obviously, Martinelli's back. From suspension, which is a big boost for Arsenal, because he's had a good spell in the team. But I just think the fact that Smith Rowe scored on that left hand side, I think the Arsenal website gave him man of the match. Even though I thought Odegaard, I thought he did well. I thought Odegaard had a very good game as well.
I thought Odegaard had a good first half.
You thought so?
I didn't think he was that effective in the second half.
I think the one thing where Odegaard, for me, I think he can shoot more. There's a couple of times the ball was there, I'm like, just hit it. And he's still looking for the pass. But I do
Actually, you're right. There was an occasion in the first half when he did a good bit of work, good bit of approach play. and the ball kind of came to him on his right foot. And there was a reluctance to shoot.
Yeah.
And we called it out at the time, said, listen, man, use your right foot, just hit it. But then, conversely, in the second half, he pings an excellent ball through with his right foot. I'm thinking...
You could have shot in the first half.
You play a ball like that with your right foot, almost as if to tell people like me, listen, I do have a right foot.
Yeah.
I think it was just a confidence because he was through on goal.
Yeah.
He had that split second, didn't choose to go with the right, went with the left, and well, you know.
Yeah, but I think he'll go with the same team. Listen, for me, I don't know about anybody else. I'm getting to a point where I think the manager may have to do something about Xhaka. No, I do.
You heard it here first.
No, I do. For me,
Xhaka, he's not happy.
Do you know what it is with
Xhaka? Used that term, lack of threat in the past. He's not going back there, are you?
Well, lack of shots, lack of goals.
Lack of goals, maybe,
you know what I mean? But no, listen, everybody likes Lacazette. We respect what he does, but I just don't think it's enough to buy into this thing that, well, he works hard. You know.
No, but the problem is, bro, like, and I'm sure you're going to tell us, if you're suggesting that they might want to have a look at somebody, then who's he going to look at? And then we know you're not a big fan of Eddie. So what does he do?
Do you know, for me, and I've said this before, I'd look at Martinelli through the middle. Yeah, he's a different kind of striker to Lacazette. I know we've used him on the left, but he gives me that vibe that he can play up front. He's quick. I think he'll be more of a goal threat. I know he may not hold the ball up as well as Lacazette. But I'm just thinking now, you got Smith Rowe on the left, Xhaka on the right, Odegaard in the 10. You put Martinelli up front, that's a very dangerous front four. I know it's quite inexperienced, but there's a lot of energy.
My obvious question to you on that, would that not upset the balance? Because especially as Lacazette's captain as well.
Well, that's the thing.
He's emerged over certainly since Aubameyang's gone as well, as a real leader of the team, hasn't he?
He has, but I just think there are going to be games. You've seen a lot with Xhaka. You watch him a lot now. Teams are doubling up on him because they know how much of a threat he is. So there's going to be games where we need the striker to score. At the moment, it's not happening. I think he scored 1 in his last 7 games. It's not a great run of form. So,
and I have to say as well that Wolves, who we're playing, they have one of the best defensive records
in the league.
I think second
to Man City. Yeah.
So they've got quite a formidable defence.
Yeah.
And they're going to come. They're going to come prepared. So, so what are you saying? Then? You like to see Martinelli?
I'd like to see Martinelli. Listen, I think he'll play Lacazette up front on Thursday. So if he is playing, I just hope he gets a goal. Sometimes as a striker, you just need a scruffy little tap in that just gives you that confidence. So he needs a goal. I think he'll play exactly the same team because I think Xhaka and Partey is the strongest midfield that we got.
Say it again.
Well, that we've got, by the way, I said. That we've got.
You said something about the strongest midfield being who?
Well, it's a certain Swiss midfielder and Thomas Partey.
See, he's been sold, man. He's been sold.
Listen, when you was a kid and you was hungry and you went in and your mum just give you some beans on toast, you got to take it, and you. Xhaka's like beans on toast, man. That's all we've got.
That's harsh. That's harsh. I thought he played well at the weekend.
No, listen,
man.
He did.
He doesn't do anything spectacular, but he's solid in there, man. And you know what I mean? He does bring certain attributes that we do benefit from.
He had a good game at the weekend.
Yeah, he did.
When we're not talking about him and he hasn't been sent off or made a big mistake, then he's done all right. But it's not these games. It's the games against better opposition where sometimes
Wolves
goes a bit
can be
wild.
Considered better opposition, and they do have some good players.
They do.
I was going to ask you about Wolves. So you would go with Martinelli through the middle. You would, but you don't think the manager. What about... Listen, man, I'm going to put my cards up. Some people, I'm not necessarily suggesting that, saying we might want to look at Pepe through the middle, because he did play in that role for Lille, apparently.
Again, for me, see, the only thing with Pepe for me is, does he have that intensity to play through the middle? It's worth trying. I can't see the manager doing it.
I'll tell you what's worth trying, the manager giving him some minutes. I'm actually being serious. I want to see him involved, man. Because listen, man, he has the type of mercurial skills that can open up a defence. So I'm not saying you should tinker with the team and drop him and drop Smith Rowe. You can't drop Smith Rowe after the game.
And you can't drop Xhaka.
Exactly.
So that's the problem.
I'm not saying that he should mess around with that first team. Yeah, that kind of picks itself in a way, really. But what I am saying is, if you've got good impact players from the subs bench, use them. And I'm not talking 10 minutes. That are meaningful contribution that these guys can make, I think he's deserving of that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to ask you, Wolves. As I've said repeatedly on the show, they are a good team. They will come prepared, and yes, you know what I mean, they want that get back. I know when we played them previously, you were quite impressed with, is it Podence?
Yeah, good player.
He catches your eye. Tell us a little bit about him, why we got to be a bit wary of him.
He just gives me that Eden Hazard vibe, low centre of gravity, very good dribbler. I know people saying his numbers are not actually that great, to be honest, but I just something about him, the way he keeps the ball. Neto is a very good player for them as well. He's actually back now. He missed the last game, but he come off the bench against Leicester. He's a very good player. Obviously, Ruben Neves, I know we're kind of giving him a lot of stick, but we were actually linked with him in the summer. They said if Xhaka had gone with Mourinho, that Neves might have been the replacement. So he's a good player.
You weren't hating on that.
No, listen, I know I criticised his salty outburst, but he is a good player. I think he scored against Leicester at the weekend as well. So listen, Wolves have got good players, and they seem to play well away from home. I mean, they battered Tottenham the other week, so it's going to be a good game. It really is
a very good game, man. Is anyone else that catches your eye? I mean, they've recently lost Adama Traore, who I hear is doing good things at Barca, along with Abba. Imagine that, man. Abba and Traore in the same team.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? There's got to be some flashy clothes there. Put Memphis Depay in there as well. There's some gold Lambos flying around.
And you know what? It's interesting. Apparently, I've heard stories that his timekeeping's not exactly great
Memphis.
either. No, Traore.
Oh, Traore, So they'll all be turning up late.
He'll be saying to Abba, can you pick me up?
I'll be there about half an hour after training starts.
That should be interesting. But jokes aside, no Traore, so that's actually good for us.
Yeah, it is good.
Invariably, when he's played against Arsenal, he's always had some kind of impact in it. He's always given us problems. So we're glad to see him go elsewhere. But man, they are a good team.
They are a good team.
And talk to me about this grudge element, because you would have played in games over the years where there's that little bit of needle. I'm sure the players will be keen to play it down before the game, because I'm sure they'll get asked that at the press conference and all that. But, let's be honest, man. Words have been said. And the only way to resolve it is on the pitch. So how do you think that will go?
I think a lot of it's mind games. Spiky. I think you look at that Arsenal team now, they're very young, quite inexperienced. So I think sometimes teams will be saying, try and get under their skin a little bit. Your Sakas, your Smith Rowes, how will they react when there's a little bit... You know what I mean? A little bit more on it. So if I was Arsenal, I wouldn't actually buy into it too much. Like I said, I think they're trying to create a rivalry that doesn't really exist. So to me...
There's no West Brom in the Premier League.
Do you know what I mean?
So everybody needs a team to hate. So maybe Wolves are looking at us and thinking, man,
we'll try and go for them. So, but listen, I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to beat them.
Yeah?
I'm confident we're going to beat them.
Big man has spoken.
Yeah, man, I think we're going to turn them over.
Interesting. You really believe that?
Yeah, no, I do. Okay. And you know me, when I don't believe it, I'll say it. I think we're going to beat them. We're on a good run of form. We've had good break between games as well. Everyone's pretty much fit. And we'll obviously, if we pick the same team, we'll have Martinelli and Pepe on the bench. I mean, that's two great options to bring on as well. I don't think Wolves have got that same level to bring on. So, I think we're going to beat them.
Yeah, man. Tell the people, bro.
Do you know what? I'm going for a 2-0 win.
2-0?
Yeah, I'm going for it, man. I think...
they're not the most prolific of goal scorers.
No, they're not.
I mean, I remember when we played them a few weeks back, even with us down to 10 men.
They struggled to break us down.
I have to be honest and say that, you know what I mean, we were worthy of that. It's not like we got lucky, is it?
Yeah.
We defended well, and they didn't really offer much threat.
No.
Which I think may have contributed to their disappointment after the game.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they saw, the likes of Ben White hooping and hollering, and everybody thought,
you got to take that sometimes, man.
I reckon their disappointment would have been with their own selves as well. The fact that they couldn't
break us down.
Yeah, they didn't show any real likelihood of doing it, if I'm being honest, if my memory of that game serves me correctly. So, but you know what, I'm going to go with you, bro. I think that, listen, they are on a good run of form, but then so are we. It's a home game. We need it badly. And I'm going to... What you said 2-0?
2-0, yeah.
I'm going to go for 2-1. I think they might score. I do think they have some good players, and I think they're going to be up for the game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think we're going to have to manage the game well. I mean, no silly yellow cards.
Yeah,
and
that's
and all
it.
that.
No
We've
red
got to
cards.
keep that under control. But if we can do all that, I think we've got enough in us, even though we're not free scoring at the moment, to score a couple of goals to their 1. So you've gone 2-0. I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah.
So we both agree that Arsenal will win. But looking at a wider picture, I've got to ask you in closing, top 4, is it still on?
It's very much on. It is very much on. I think one thing we learned at the weekend, we can't rely on other teams. Because I got to be honest, I sat there at the weekend after we won and I was like, right, Tottenham will lose to City. Wolves will probably draw with Leicester. I was very much disappointed. And what I thought with that is, do you know what? We've just got to handle our own business. Because the Premier League's so unpredictable now that anything can happen.
I agree with you on the Tottenham one. I was not that shocked that Wolves beat Leicester, to be honest.
No.
Leicester are not on it.
They're not playing very well at the moment.
The United result was interesting because I watched that game and they went 2-0 up, looked like they were coasting. Then Leeds pulled it back to 2-2 and I'm thinking, right, game on now. But to be fair to United, and I hate to say this, man, you know what I mean, but they were worthy of that 4-2 win. And I'm a little bit, I said to you on the show a couple of weeks ago that my worry is that United have enough talent that they might score their way, literally score their way to that top 4 place.
Listen, I would agree with you. You know, you saw Sancho played well, Pogba, and they've got so many options. You just always feel. But listen,
I mean,
they have
to
got
me with United,
well.
right? I'm going to say this. Like, to me, it's kind of embarrassing that they're even in.
They should be in a title race.
They should be challenging City and Liverpool.
Yeah. So, listen. One thing about them, they're inconsistent. You saw it in that game, 2-0 up. I was sitting there thinking, I might as well turn this off. Within 5 minutes, it's 2-2, and that shows there are deficiencies there still. So we've just got to, one game at a time, keep winning.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, Lacazette starts scoring. I think we've got a reliable defence and goalkeeper, and that is massive when you can build from that. And I think Partey is quietly starting to handle business as well. So listen, just take our time, see where it takes us, but we've got a chance.
And I would say, I don't know if you agree with me, that 4th place now, with no disrespect to Wolves and Tottenham and all the other teams, but to me, at this moment in time, that top 4 place is looking between us and United. Did you say that? Or am I reaching?
No, I would say we're the favourites. You know, the fact we're not in any other competition, 1 game a week, it hurts me to say it. I do think Tottenham are still in the race.
No, they're in it.
Because of the manager and the striker.
I think that
we're the favourites.
When it comes down to the final analysis, I think it's going to be between us and United.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that as the 2 main teams. So
that's what I think.
Listen, I just think, and I've said this a lot, at the start of the season, I felt top 6 was the target, but I never expected 4th to be this wide open. And sometimes in sport, you got to take an opportunity. So
things open up.
I think we've got to try. I just think if we were to get in the Champions League, the process, if you like, would be, it would push it 2 years, 3 years quicker than you know. So I just think if we can get top 4, it'd be massive for us. Building.
You heard what the big man said. Listen, I'm kind of with you on that. I think that listen, my target for this season was top 6 minimum.
So and maybe a trophy.
If we don't get top 4 but we get 5th or 6th, I'm not going to hate on that, to be honest. I'm not going to be calling for the manager's head. The only way I would do that is if we was in some kind of
7th or 8th or something.
No, I mean in terms of we missed out on the Champions League place, but we were so far ahead and they let it slip. Then there would be serious questions to be asked as to why there was so much slippage. But listen, man, it's all to play for. It's almost like a league within a league. And it makes it very interesting. And this game, as I described it earlier, it's a bit like that Kelbrook Amir Khan. It's a bit of a grudge match, and I'm looking forward to it immensely. So man. But we come to the end of the show, bro. Listen, man, great to have you back in the hot seat, giving us your honest and forthright opinions for the, I was going to say the 112th, but you wasn't on the show last week. But tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man, Curtis Shaw TV, daily uploads, big up everyone supporting, and man, I'm there.
Respect, man. And thanks everybody for tapping in. Truly appreciate your support. Keep watching the show. Keep watching the content. We appreciate it very much. Keep the show hyperactive. Interactive. Let us know what you think. Do you think it's a grudge match? If so, do you think we can come out on top? Who do you think the real threats are going to come from Wolves? Do you agree with Curtis that maybe we should slightly tinker with our formation and maybe try Martinelli through the middle? Lots of talking points. We look forward to hearing you. And we look forward to seeing you next week as usual. We're out.